For the eyes of the world now look into space, to the moon. For the eyes of the world For the eyes of the world now look into space, to the moon. For the eyes of the world now look into space, to the moon. For the eyes of the world now look into space, to the moon and to the planets beyond.
The space race, or oftenly known as the race to the moon, was between the Soviet Union and the United States to see who can make the most advancements in technology. This started and ended from 1957 to 1975. It started with the Sputnik 1, which is the first artificial Earth satellite created by the Soviet Union, and it intensified the tensions between the United States as they feared of falling behind and was not expecting for the Soviet Union to be so far ahead. This is one of the largest accomplishments during the space race, as it led on a chain of events to occur. And finally, in 1969, the Apollo spacecraft was launched into space, where Neil Armstrong became the first person to walk on the moon. The United States completed their goal of the race to the moon, which ultimately led them to winning the space race.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Another country that had a large role in space is Canada, who became the third country in space, while also creating the Canadarm, which is a mechanical arm that is remote controlled that can do important jobs such as repairing satellites, maintaining equipment, and moving cargo, and can carry objects up to 206,000 kilograms in space, while later building the Canadarm2. These were incredibly important inventions in space, as it made creating things in space far easier and less dangerous. The race costed both the Soviet Union and the United States billions of dollars. So was the space race really worth how much it costed in the end? Some may say we haven't accomplished much in space, or we could have spent the money on more immediate problems. This may be true, but when you think of the long term, the race for the moon benefited society, because due to satellites, we are now able to check the weather, watch TV, or make cell phone calls. Space research is also allowing us to make important innovations in the field of medicine. To continue, having knowledge about outer space is important, as we may have to travel through space if Earth is no longer sustainable. Our only chance of long-term survival is not to remain inward-looking on planet Earth, but to spread out into space. This is a quote from Stephen Hawking. This proving how one day the space race will benefit the whole human existence, as without it, space exploration would not be the same. And finally, the space exploration from the space race created a more creative and accepting society, because it made people at the time more optimistic, as they were able to believe unimaginable things, while outside-the-box thinking was also widely accepted. Valentina Tereshkova, the first woman in 12-person in space, inspired all women, as during the 1960s, women would not tend to be doing the type of job that she took on. As she once said, "If women can be railroad workers in Russia, why can't they fly in space?" Space exploration created the idea that anything is possible.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win.
Hippity hoppity, hippity hopping over hill and dale. Da 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 da.